Let's hear it for the Flyer Pep Band. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Larry Hanskin. I'm the voice of the Flyers on WHIO Radio. And welcome to tonight's celebration of all that is right about the University of Dayton and Flyer basketball. It's about perseverance. It's an evening about integrity, sticking to principles, standards, student athletes, excellence on and off the court, a rich tradition, a magical present, and a glorious future. Your team, your town. That was last year's motto. And these teams did great things last year and made you proud of your team, of your town. Kind of represented the gritty, gutty aspect of this community and the people in the Dayton area. We talked about that a lot. Well, guess what? This community took it on the chin a couple more times since last year. But you know what? We're all Flyers. And that's the motto this year. And we are all Flyers here tonight to celebrate all that is right about the University of Dayton. The mission statement of the university: learn, lead, and serve. And he serves us as the leader. The president of the University of Dayton, Dr. Daniel Curran.
How are you all doing, Flyer faithful? It's a great night to be here. This has been a great year, and I can remember early on, I was watching the Michigan State game, the women playing Michigan State, and again, you have this powerful Michigan State team come here, and everyone we want to just hang in there. We want to hang in there. And I watched the team. And the team just kept coming back, playing harder and harder, and we beat Michigan State. And things started to develop from there for the women. And certainly, they lived up to all of our expectations. First time to the NCAA, and the first win for UD. Likewise, down in Puerto Rico, I watched the men play, and they played hard. They could have easily walked away with 3 wins from Puerto Rico. Certainly, there are some bumps in the road. I can remember the St. Joe's game in particular, but I won't go into that right now. You know I came from St. Joe's. But in the last weeks, like the women, the men stepped up. The seniors stepped up. The 8 seniors did special things on both teams. Now, all of us are proud to watch the players on the court. We see them on TV, we see them at the arena. I have the opportunity to interact with these players on a regular basis. As a university president, I'm very committed to that ideal of the scholar athlete. And I think Tim will talk a little later about the academic credentials of our students, but as hard as they play on the court, they work equally as hard in the classroom. That goes across the board for athletic programs, so I want to thank them for that also, and all of our athletes for that. One more thing about the players. They're students, they're athletes, they're great men and women, and they represent the university so well, again and again. Win or lose, they're a class act. There's no doubt. Now, where does that come from? Part of it, I hope, I believe, is the University of Dayton, but I have to take a minute to say a couple comments about both coaches. And I think the world of both of our coaches. Brian and Jim are just great individuals. They have high expectations on the court and off the court. When you talk about Marinist ideals and where we want to go as a university, you think about community, reaching out. And I'm not going to talk about the special programs both teams do, but really, they're decisions by the coach, by the coaching staff, by the athletic department. You don't have to do these things. You don't have to be connected to the Dayton community. There's a lot of programs that won't spend the time to go out and do things with underprivileged groups in the community. That goes back, I think, to the coaches and the wonderful job they do. And Brian and Jim, could you just stand up? You're going to stand up a lot, but stand up for the first time tonight. So let me close with a lot of thanks. First, I want to thank the teams for putting us really in the national limelight for several weeks. I think we had 6 games televised nationally. That was important for this university. People to see what we're all about. The commentary about the University of Dayton made a difference. So again, I thank the teams for everything they've done. I've already made a quick comment on the coaches. I just think they're 2 men that are of high integrity, and I hope lead us into many victories in the future. I want to thank all of you that are here today, the Flyer faithful, for staying with the teams all these years. I certainly want to take time to thank the pep band and Willie, the cheerleaders, and also all the people in the athletics department who work every day not only dealing with the basketball program, but all the great sports programs we have. And Tim, could you stand up? And all the members of the athletic department, please take a moment and stand up. And I'll close by thanking the teams on behalf of the whole university community, the Board of Trustees, and I think I can say for the Dayton Dayton community, but maybe I'll leave that for the mayor to say. So have a great day, everybody. Go Flyers!
I'm sure we have some parents in the audience, either that have young children or you can remember when you did, and you remember those crazy Saturdays when you got a soccer game here and you got a t-ball game here, and then you feel like you don't have a moment to yourself because you're constantly divided, trying to show equal love and attention to all your children and all their endeavors. Now, I'm not trying to say that Tim Wobbler's a soccer mom, but really, that is what the life of an athletic director is when he cares as much about his coaches and his student athletes as he does. Tim Wobbler.
Thank you, Larry. I would like to begin by thanking the University of Dayton Board of Trustees who are here, Pete Luongo and Brother Tom. Dan Curran, thank you for your support of University of Dayton Athletics. Mayor Gary Lightsoul, thank you for coming tonight and representing the Dayton community. And thanks to Coach Donaher and all the basketball alumni who are here tonight with us. Thanks for sharing this evening with us. This is quite a time for Dayton basketball. When you look at both the men and women's basketball teams, both teams have earned postseason berths now 3 years in a row. Both teams have 3 straight 20-win seasons. 9 players received Atlantic 10 honors this season. Both teams achieved national rankings during the season. And for a 3-week period in March, the University of Dayton basketball was consistently in the national spotlight thanks to these 2 teams. But there are 2 very different stories here. 3 years ago, we held a celebration for University of Dayton men's basketball, and the history of this tradition-rich basketball program was on display. The NIT played a prominent role in the development of that tradition. At that men's basketball banquet 4 weeks ago, we talked about the accomplishments of the men's team up until that point. But when you come back in the future, for the future celebration of a Dayton basketball, you will be forever remembered for your performance over the last 3 years, which placed University of Dayton solidly on the national stage. The senior class tied the class of 1955 for the most wins in the history of the University of Dayton. You have been nationally ranked in the last 3 seasons. And the academic success of the men's basketball program places UD at the top of the Atlantic 10 and at the top 10% nationally. You know, when we have that celebration in the future, you'll be forever remembered for your 2 NIT appearances, for your NCAA victory, and now as the 2010 NIT champions. The women's basketball team has a different story. That story is about a coach daring to dream what Dayton women's basketball could be. It is about a young woman from Canada believing in that dream. It is about young women from Ohio who decided to stay close to home and say it's okay to play at Dayton. It is about young women from throughout the Midwest believing that the University of Dayton should be playing in postseason, and that earning 2 WNIT berths and getting to the NCAA and winning a game this year was what they were all about. The women's basketball story is about working to make a dream come true, both on the court and in the classroom. But the most impressive accomplishment for both programs is the manner in which Brian and the men's basketball team and Jim and the women's basketball team represent the University of Dayton and the Dayton community nationally. Speaking on behalf of everyone here, we are all very proud to be Flyers. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. I look out in the crowd here tonight and I see my friend Marty Grunder, and shameless plug for you, Marty, but he does some commercials on our radio station called Good News in Dayton, in which he outlines all the good things that are happening on a daily basis in Dayton. Well, obviously, we're here to celebrate tonight some good things in Dayton, and there's a lot of good things in Dayton ahead under new leadership, under Mayor Gary Leitzel.
Can anyone recommend a good basketball team? I'll tell you a funny story. You know, I grew up in England, and I didn't really participate much in sports over there, but I did have an experience with basketball. It was my first and last experience. I was about 14 years old, and I tried out for the school team. And inadvertently, the coach did something to upset me, and with absolutely no words and a single gesture of the hand, I told him he was number one, and got 20 demerits for the privilege, and that ended my basketball career in high school. So we're not here to talk about my personal failures, but we're here to talk about the success of teamwork. And really, I'm here to congratulate the Dayton Flyers men's basketball team for winning the 2010 NIT championships. I'm here to congratulate the Dayton women's Flyers basketball team for their appearance in the NCAA championships and for progressing to the second round. You know, UD has been part of the fabric of Dayton for about 160 years, and what makes things moving forward so special for the future is that the future depends on teamwork and partnerships. And UD has stepped up to the plate to be a major role player in the partnership field. In fact, I was here this morning at 7:30 at our CityLinks event, so I get to begin my day here and end my day here at UD, which is pretty unique and fascinating. I have some posters here for the coaches because I'm no longer doing hand gestures. It's our way from the city of Dayton to tell them that they are number one. And so if Mr. Brian Gregory would like to step up, and Mr. Jim Jaber. You're Brian?
Yes.
That's for you?
Thank you.
Okay. This is for you. I'll just tell people what these are.
Thank you.
We have a Dayton Originals patented, logo, and these are posters that they can put up in their rooms or whatever that say we recognize both these teams as Dayton Originals. So thank you. Keep up the good work.
Well, we are here tonight not just to celebrate success, but to celebrate unprecedented, historic success. This year, University of Dayton women's basketball team made its first ever appearance in the NCAA tournament and won its first game ever in the NCAA tournament. And as far as I'm concerned, that's an instant classic. Look at the video screens. It was about 7 years ago on back-to-back days that Brian Gregory and Jim Jaber were introduced as the basketball coaches at the University of Dayton, and each man pledged to make his team a consistent winner and play in postseason play, and everyone's response to Coach Gregory was, "Yeah, you better." And when Coach Jaber said that, they said, "Yeah, right." With the Easter season just behind us, pardon me if I make a somewhat biblical, well, a very biblical reference, but when I think of Jim Jaber, I think of Lazarus. I mean, first of all, the man himself literally rose from the dead, and then he took a basketball program that was, quite honestly, not relevant at all, and made it a national program. The coach of the Dayton Flyers, Jim Jaber.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. You're way too kind. I appreciate it very, very much. You know, when the men came back from New York, the NIT, I walked in their office and I said, you know, we finally did something great. We went to the NCAA tournament and won a game, and you guys had to go and win the whole damn thing. Yeah. They stole our thunder, and I'm okay with that. The reason I'm okay with that, in part, is because when I watched all those NIT games, I saw so much perseverance, so much adversity, so much character, and never one time did Brian, his staff, or his players change anything. They believed in what they believed in, and they were going to see it all the way through. And I mean, I can't imagine 13,000 people critiquing whether you have your suit jacket buttoned or unbuttoned, or whether you sub too much or not enough. And in spite of all that pressure, he stayed the course. And to see it all turn around, it all come together, was magical. But when you think about it, it's really not that magical, because he said from day one that it was about character, and it was about recruiting people who you'd be proud to bring home. And when I got here 7 years ago, we didn't have a whole lot to go with, and I decided that character was real important. So I spent a lot of time talking about culture and trying to learn how to build not just a team that won a season, but a program. And I talked to Tim Wobbler, Ted Kissel, Coach Mike Kelly, who was a big influence. I spent a lot of time in Brian's office. And what you saw on the screen and what you see in front of you with our team are a group of people who have so much character, and they're so selfless, and they've never quit, and they've bought in. And yes, they're very, very talented, but on top of all of that, they believe. They believe in the principles of UD. They believe in the culture that we created. And we're down 18 with 13 minutes left against TCU on national TV. And I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to say in the locker room after this? And they're thinking, we're going to win this game. And I've never been more proud of a group. I tell Tim Wobbler at least twice a week how fortunate and lucky and proud I am to be the coach here at UD. And I really mean that. I think, you know, Brian and the men's team might be used to this kind of celebration. This is new to us, and I think we like it a lot, and hopefully we can get used to it and keep doing it. But I want to say, too, thank you. But it's about the people that matter the most, and we have great people. Our administration is second to none. You know, I'm up here getting all this all these nice things said about me, and I've got coaches who make me look good. If you knew me like they knew me, they should be up here, not me. And I'm proud of them. And even the band who when I first got here, we were so bad. I would and I'm nervous before games, and I'd walk over to the band and just talk to them, and I'd say, if we don't get any better, we'll start calling this thing a concert and sell it out. So I love the band and the cheerleaders, but anyway, I'm going on too long here. I'm very proud of the culture that we've built, and we're going to work very, very hard to continue to build on it. And hopefully the second round is something that we'll surpass next year. And we're going to miss Kendall a lot. Thank you. We're going to miss Kendall Ross a lot, but we have so many hungry, good people coming back who want to improve and continue to get better. And for all of them and for all of us, I say thank you so much, and go Flyers.
Coach, we do hope you'll get used to these type of things as well, and that you'll remember to introduce your staff and players right now. We'd like to bring them all up, okay?
Well, let me start with our coaches. Where are you guys? Leslie Dickinson, come on up. Angie Russell, come on. Do you want them to come up? They can come up, right? Yeah, this is my night. We can do this. Come on up. Louise. I want you to, Angie Russell, Leslie Dickinson, Kyle Recklitz, our Director of Basketball Ops, Louise Jones. Can you give them a hand there? They're well deserving. Thanks. I'd like to introduce our players. We'll start with our freshman, Sam McKay, our point guard. Come on up, Sam. Carrie Doherty. Come on up, Sam. Olivia Applewhite. Brittany Wilson. Stacy Willis. And then we have our sophomores. Well, Stacy's one of our sophomores, but we got Casey Nance. Come on up, Case. Justine Ratterman. Kayla Moses. Desiree Chambers. Patrice Laylor. And then we have 3 juniors. Ellie Queen, come on up. Kristen Doherty. Ebony Gainey. And Andrea Lindsay, come on up. And saving the old woman last, Kendall Ross.
Thank you. We did it. We made the NCAA tournament. We won the first round. We set the bar higher than it has ever been. As I reflect back at my 4 years at the University of Dayton, I am grateful for the opportunity to have been a part of such an amazing program. As a Flyer, you learn that it takes a family to build something. From the time I entered the program until now, the hard work, commitment to the goal, and dedication from everyone in the Flyer family to get to the NCAA tournament has been incredible. Our goals have been accomplished by not only the players on our team, but by the coaches, the support staff, the athletic department, the fans, and of course, we wouldn't be where we are without our practice boys. We should all be proud to call ourselves Flyers. I want to congratulate the men's team on their NIT championship success. You worked so hard and represented what it meant to be a Flyer very well. As for myself, I came to UD because the people here my mom made me practice it like 20 times and I still can't get through it. But I came to UD because the people here made me believe that this year's success was possible. I am leaving UD a richer person, knowing that hard work and strong will can fulfill dreams. Thank you for an amazing 4 years. It's been an honor.
A reminder, the folks at Corporate Casuals back in the corner have a lot of great Flyer gear for sale tonight. Those of you who maybe followed the men's team through the NIT, I do actually own more than just this. Yeah, I've done laundry. I did wear it every game. I'm not superstitious, but if you saw the movie Bull Durham, there's something that you do with a streak, and I wasn't going to go there. If you were in Madison Square Garden, you got to see something special. Unfortunately, if you were watching the game on TV, they cut away long before the post-game celebration in which the team got the trophy and each of the players and the coaches got to cut down the net. Cutting down the net's a very special moment for a championship team. And as each player and coach climbed up to take a snip of the net, they were on a ladder. They climbed up a ladder. But in reality, they cut down the nets on the shoulders of the all-time winningest coach in the University of Dayton, Don Donaher.
Thank you very much. Coach Jaber, I want to congratulate you and your staff and these ladies for an unbelievable year. There are a lot of times we were down 18 with 13 minutes to play, and I figured out something to say after the game, and I was able to use it. But that was just, nothing like a startup, and to set the bar like you talked about, that's really great. and there are bigger and better things to come. As far as the men go, a tradition has a starting point, and it wasn't with this kid here. And for that reason, I wish today somehow we could have Coach Tom Blackburn here at the microphone. Tom Blackburn, the University of Dayton, and the NIT will be linked forever. Now, from what we understand, this is the end of the NIT. And if it is the end, because the NCAA field is going to go to 96 teams, well, there were 73 NITs, and of the 73, Dayton was in 22 of them. That's a cool 30%. Used to be 2 championships. Now you guys made it 3. Five runner-ups. Tom Blackburn was a high school coach when the NIT got going. And through the 40s, there were only 8 teams invited at that time. It was a big thing in the state of Ohio. In the 40s, in the 10 years, 8 years, there was a representative from Ohio, 1 Ohio U, 2 from Toledo, and 5 from Bowling Green. So when World War II ended, Coach left the Navy, came back to Dayton as a golf pro at Madden Park. He was hunted down by the administration of the University of Dayton, asked to come over here to head up the basketball program based on the great job he did in winning a state tournament over at Xenia High School. So he came here, and the tradition began. His goal, because of that success of Ohio teams, was to play in the NIT and to win the NIT. And it was an amazing thing that the school just started what is known today as a Division I program, started a fully funded scholarship program. Essentially, we were starting from scratch. And in the 4th year, he had a team not only in the NIT, but he had them in the championship game, 1951. The All-American, the Dayton first All-American, is here tonight with us. He was the guy that put the team on his shoulder and took them to the championship game in that 51 NIT. He's seated over here, Don Monk Meineke. Monk, would you stand? I remember when Monk got back from the NIT, I said, boy, well, in the second game, I believe it was against Arizona, he went for 37. And I said, gee, I bet that New York media was all over you after the game. He said, no, I was with the trainer in the training room icing down my elbow on my shooting arm. Monk was always the most humble guy. Years later, he had to always answer, how's come you didn't win that first NIT in 51? And ever so humbly, he said, because we were 4 players short. But after 5 runner-ups in Coach Blackburn's 10th time in the NIT, finally the big trophy came. 1962, the Flyers won the NIT, and coaches, the closest people to him, said that without question it was the happiest that they ever saw the man in his entire life. And he was not an easy guy to get a smile on his face. But his goal came true, and unfortunately, 2 years to the month after that, he passed away because of lung cancer. Well, then it was another 6 years, mainly because we went to the NCAA. Another opportunity came to go to the NIT. This time there were 12 teams, as there were in 51. And we went back to New York, the 1968 team, and somebody up here talked about some speed bumps. That team had some speed bumps, more like potholes, a lot of similarities to what you fellows went through this year. And the NIT belonged to Dayton for the second time. Then we had a shot to go into the tournament 10 more times, but we never did make it back to New York. But then came 2010. Coach would really have enjoyed watching you guys play. Now I'm going to tell you that. You're his kind of team. There's three things that you embodied as a team that he would have really liked: your toughness, your resiliency, and your togetherness. The 2010 Flyers defined those three things. Your toughness, the way you attacked offensively and defensively, the way you rebounded every night, that was his kind of basketball. Your resiliency, the heartbreaking losses you had, next time out is like you had won the game before. Totally resilient. And what better way did you prove it than to go through this tournament and win this championship? Your togetherness was evident in the way you helped one another defensively, the way you shared the ball at the other end of the court, and the way in your substitute pattern, a guy had come out, high five, no sign of pout. You're just a total team altogether. That was something that he would have really liked. Now, back in our day, well, actually, I was in grade school when a fellow played here by the name of Bucky Bockhorn. But there's a story that in a game, Coach Blackburn sent a substitute for Bucky. And a kid walked out on the floor and said, "I got you, Buck." And in his best English said, "You don't got Buck. You get back to the bench because I'm staying." But of all the teams that went over to New York, and especially of the three championship teams, by far